call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Parton,
Here.
Vice Mayor Joyner,
Here.
Counselor Harris, Counselor Ellis, Counselor Day,
Here.
Counselor Wheat,
Here.
Counselor Rapoli.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. At this time, do I have a motion to go into closed meeting pursuant under Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A3, 8, and 29 to discuss the acquisition or disposition of real property where discussion in open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body, the award of a public contract where discussion in open session would adversely affect the city's bargaining position, and to consult with legal counsel regarding specific legal matters, real estate contract discussions, support agreement with the EDA, lease for city department offices, 2.2-3711A1, to discuss personnel matters including appointment to the Recreation Commission, city attorney annual evaluation, city clerk 6-month evaluation, and review of city manager finalists, and 2.2-3711A29, health insurance renewal with One Digital.
So move. Second.
All right, motion's been made by Vice Mayor Joyner and seconded by Councilor Rapoli. Is there any discussions? Seeing no lights, roll call, please.
Counselor Harris, Mayor Parton,
Yes.
Counselor Ellis, Counselor Day,
Yes.
Counselor Wheat,
Yes.
Counselor Rapoli,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right. Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Do I have a motion to come out of the closed meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion's made by Councilor Wheat and seconded by Vice Mayor Joyner. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Counselor Harris, Mayor Parton,
Yes.
Counselor Day,
Yes.
Counselor Wheat,
Yes.
Counselor Rapoli, Vice Mayor Joyner.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
All right, certification, please.
Certification under Virginia Code 2.1-3712D, where only public business matters, 1, lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements, and 2, identified in the closed meeting motion discussed in the closed meeting.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Parton,
Yes.
Counselor Day,
Yes.
Counselor Wheat,
Yes.
Counselor Rapoli,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right. I want to thank everyone for coming out to tonight's City Council meeting. We're going to start out with our report from the City Manager.
Good evening, Mayor Council. This evening, we're going to start with a presentation on the Hopewell Water Renewal from our new director, Matthew Ellenhouse. We're very pleased to have him. He has a presentation that he'd like to share with you.
All right.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, members of the council. I'm Matt Ellinghouse. I'm Director of Water Renewal, and after a quick 3 weeks, I thought it was time to come before you and give you a little update on how things are going. So, from an operations and maintenance standpoint, as you're well aware, we do have some challenges, but we're making improvements daily. Our maintenance plan is in effect, and we are working through each process little by little to chip away at some of the maintenance that was deferred over time and getting different processes operating again as they should. So we're catching up on that work, and we are also in the process of kind of doing our ammonia evaluation. This is getting the studies up and running to figure out what and how we're going to comply with the more stringent ammonia standard from a permit limit standpoint that goes into effect in a couple of years at the end of our permit term. DEQ is providing us the ability to extend that compliance schedule with a couple of studies and some sort of detailed plan, so that's what we're putting together now. We'll have more information on that in the future as that becomes a little bit more clear. And the DEQ plan is due at the end of this year, so we have a number of months to work on that to bring that together. The fourth supplement is still under negotiation. I know we've received some comments back from technical comments back from the TAC committee, the industry reps there, and I know the lawyers are discussing things in the near future. So that's going forward, and hopefully we can kind of get that wrapped up from a process standpoint at the next commission meeting, or the commission meeting in April, excuse me.
So with that fourth supplement, that's going to reflect changes from the charter amendment that we've asked for?
So the fourth supplement is that facility agreement is more on the billing.
Okay.
That's bringing the nitrogen share in and establishing emergency funds and things like that. The charter changes won't be until after July 1.
Right. Well, I guess what I'm saying is that if we're changing up the charter and, you know, we're going through the supplement at the same time, are we looking at, as part of that fourth supplement, you know, because we're trying to bring in Prince George and Fort Lee,
Correct.
that they're going to be a part of the actual, you know, breaking down of the billing?
I have not looked at that personally, just
Okay.
in the 3 weeks, so I'd have to go back and look at the numbers to see if we should be consulting with them with respect to the fourth supplement, or
Okay.
here is the facility agreement, and they get to choose
Yeah, which way they want to go.
to join in based off of, you know, those flows and loading calculations,
Right.
or stay the way they are.
Okay.
So that's possible. The,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yes.
So, when you were making reference to the ammonia problem, is that on the residential side or in the industrial side?
So that is both. That
So we have issues on both sides.
we have issues on both sides because it's a single limit, and the current limit, total nitrogen limit is like 15 milligrams per liter, and this is ultimately going to take it down to approximately 3. So it's a large change that we're looking at that will affect both the city's share and primarily Advent since they have a high ammonia, but it affects everybody.
Thank you.
And one more question with that. Is that a project that's going to be eligible for those, you know, real sizable, I can't remember the exact technical term for it,
Grants,
but yeah,
the water quality improvement funds grants.
thank you,
things
yeah,
like that.
those.
That is something we have to work with DEQ on. I don't
Okay.
know what remains from an eligibility standpoint after we completed phase 2.
Okay.
So there was a sizable water quality improvement grant for phase 2.
Right.
I don't know if there's any caps or limitations on how often you can go back to DEQ for that.
Okay.
But we are going to examine every funding opportunity out there.
Okay.
And from a facility status standpoint, staffing does remain an issue. We've got 56 full-time positions allocated. We're running at about 10 vacancies now, almost 20%. Fortunately, we are going through some interviews, so hopefully we can get some of those filled. But utility, water, wastewater utility staffing is an issue, not just locally and regionally, but state and national as well. So it's not an uncommon problem. Recruiting talent is very difficult. And then last thing, not on the slide, but pump stations and the collection system status. I have not had much time to get into that side. A couple of the pump station upgrades are in progress, but I'll be coming to the council in a month or two with an update on that. So we'll move forward with that stuff at another time. Next thing I want to talk about is capital project status. Couple highlights along the way. We've completed our ash bucket elevator project to get the ash into the dumpsters, out of the incinerator into the dumpsters better. Our electrical switchgear has been replaced. The incinerator continuous emissions monitoring system has been replaced, and one of the domestic fine screens is fully rebuilt and back in operation. Projects that we have actively going on now: gravity thickener 1, rehab and rebuild, the incinerator feed pumps, an emergency air compressor to support the O2 plant, as well as PLC number 7 upgrade. Those are highlights. Now, along the way on the plan side, you can see we've got a centrifuge rebuild, secondary clarifier rebuilds, and that's multiple different clarifiers, gravity thickener number 2, domestic fine screen number 2, chlorine contact, tank automation for hypochlorite feed optimization, and then primary clarifier rehabilitations. Now, if you jump to the next slide, you'll see graphically we've got kind of a light pinkish color, we've got a yellow and a white. The yellow are all the projects that have been completed. The pinkish color are things that are in progress, and there's more of those on here than the ones I highlighted. And then all the white projects remain to be done. They're in the planning stages. You'll notice under the priority column, a number of those projects are part of the DEQ consent order requirements. So you can see a handful of the things that we've already completed as well as underway are relating right to that consent order, which has not gone into effect yet. We'll get to that in just a second. You can see a lot of them in the future as well. So these are things that we're going to have to get done. They are a priority, not just because of the consent order, but we've got to get them operating to efficiently run and optimize the plan.
Excuse me,
Yes?
I need to push the button, Mr. Mayor, if I've got questions.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay. So some of these are in the category of business case. What does that mean?
Business case means that it's something that needs to be done. We haven't established the business case to get, I'll say, the full commission on board with moving ahead with that project. It's upgrading things. It's nothing's broken. It's functioning properly. However, it's either reached its useful life and failure becomes a problem to deal with, or it's hard to get parts because it's old and you need replacement materials just are more difficult to come by. And so we're making a business case trying to say, well, we need to do it for all these reasons, but it's one of those items that it's a high priority, but no one's making us do it right now. And so we have to focus on some of these other projects as well. So it's just a round to it kind of thing.
Well, there are a couple that are DEQ CO, isn't that required?
They are required, yes.
Okay, that are DEQ CO, but listed as being business case is the status.
This is project phase.
And that's trying to work when to get it done. So the
It's
consent
just
order.
not doing it,
It's not that we're doing it, it's when do we do it, as well as, in some cases, do we do it at all? So the DEQ consent order spans numerous years. And so it's more a question of where does it fall in the list on getting the work done.
I see, the timing. Thank you.
The timing and cash flow for everybody, yeah.
And when you come back in the next month or two or whenever, can you kind of give us an update with the oxygen plant
Yes.
replacement?
See it right here.
Yeah.
It just after having to go through that emergency years ago,
Right.
and then the financial repercussions of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would like an update.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor? With regard to the oxygen plant replacement, it's listed here as a medium priority instead of a very high priority, given the background, though he was
Sure.
just mentioning. And of course, we keep trying. We keep asking the General Assembly for money for that and that sort of thing. Is it truly medium, or?
It's medium in the sense that there is another option if something goes wrong.
Okay.
We have the ability to purchase oxygen. It comes at a cost. It's not that it's
Okay.
an even swap, but there are other things that are higher priority.
I
There
see.
is no other option other than
Okay.
fixing what's there
Okay.
to keep the process
Well,
operating.
thank you. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Going on to the last slide, the consent order and where things stand with that. So just background, consent order resulted from 2 notices of violation from January and August of 2025, and then a subsequent DEQ site inspection in November. So there were some negotiations back and forth after they completed their investigation and all of that. And in February, the city manager signed the consent order. It went back to DEQ where they have some processing to do. And it's currently, as of Monday, it was at public notice. Consent orders get public notice for 30 days to allow public comment on it, to make sure they hear from the citizens, to ensure that they're treating people right or not being too lenient and all of those good things. So it's currently at public notice. That will come out April 8th, at which point there's a little processing time before it gets finalized and issued. So I'm anticipating that becoming finalized in mid-April, at which point all of the timelines in the consent order, various pieces of equipment, it turns into within 30 days you have to start this, within, by this date you have to have one of these working, 2 of these working, things like that. That's all detailed in the consent order. That's when the clock starts on all of that stuff. As you can see back on the capital project list, a number of those things are either already completed or in process. So we're kind of working ahead of the game with the consent order. One good thing to know is through this process, we did have some support at DEQ in that no civil charges, fines, or penalties were associated with this consent order. They knew the money needed to stay here and go into the facility rather than into the DEQ coffers. So that was good to see. And then, as I said, many of the requirements are already underway. So, any questions?
No, but I just want to say thank you. I know you've just gotten here, and I know you're drinking from a fire hose, but you have gotten a lot of great compliments from folks up at DEQ. Mr. Rollban, Mr. Rock, they both have wonderful things to say about you, and they're happy to see the progress that's being made. And I also want to say thank you to Anthony and Mr. Rogers for working with DEQ and on these consent orders. This is just from over a decade of neglect from councils and city administrations where they just they just did not invest in the utility, and this is exactly what happens when you don't. And so I'm very happy that we've got a wonderful team here that's really problem solving and pulling all resources and opening up opportunities to try to get as many projects fixed as possible.
Thank you.
Thank
Seriously.
you.
Hats off to the staff at Water Renewal. I mean, you've got some great folks down there, and they've been doing a great job. It's just been very difficult conditions in which to operate in. So I appreciate the support.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And I do want to say thank you to the council too, because this is probably the first council that's really gone aggressively after infrastructure and utilities. And so I do want to say thank you to everybody up here. Thank you.
Mr. House, we are scheduled to start review of that operations maintenance pretty soon.
That is correct. Yes, we are reviewing that proposal now. We don't have a timeline on getting together. Our scoring is being done currently.
Okay.
So all the committee members are supposed to have their scoring in by the end of this week, and then we'll compile that and get a date to actually sit down and start talking about the proposals themselves and the pros and cons.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Second report on the city manager is the crime report. Chief Taylor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of City Council. I'm here to give you the March Crime Summer Report for the Police Department. And we'll start off with March, ending March the 1st. And violent crime total through March the 1st. Violent crime went down -40%. Property crime at this period went down -6%. Total major crime will down -15%. Next slide is a comparison. We use 2023 as a benchmark, and if we compare 2023 and 2026, the percentage is -44% decrease in violent crime. Property crime, same period, we're down -29%. For a total major crime decrease of -32%. It is the next presentation I give, we're going back to the year 2022 through 2026. We started the technology era. So it'll be 2022, the next crime report.
Yeah, I think that's going to help your case when you ask for that next piece of technology.
I've got a question. Quick
Sure.
question.
Drug overdoses.
Vice Mayor Joyner.
Chief, and maybe it has to do with the date. There was a homicide that occurred on Cawson Street. And that's not included here. Was it a date thing? I mean,
Yeah, I think that was on the 2nd.
was it on the
Yeah,
I
second?
think it's on the 2nd or the 3rd.
Okay.
Last Friday.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
It was just a day
It's
off
under
then.
investigation, and we got a offender, and it's under investigation.
Okay. I just knew it didn't show up in the
Yes,
violent crime. It was the date thing. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Suspected opiate overdoses. Unfortunately, we had one this year. Non-fatal, we have 2. Grand total for 2026 is 3. For the past from 2021 through 2026, grand total for fatal is 13. Same time period, non-fatal is 54, and grand total for this total time period is 67. Verified shots fired. This is January the 1st, 2026 through March the 2nd, 2026. Thus far in 2026, we've had 3 shots fired, verified shots fired. In 2024, you see the numbers was 64, and 2025 it was 54. Neighborhood watch meetings, nothing has changed. Hiring recruitment for the month of March. Next applicant testing will be March the 28th. It will be at Creative Criminal Justice Academy. We still have 3 emergency communication operators are vacant, and 1 applicant is still in the background stage. 6 police positions are unfilled. 7 applicants remain in the backfield. We're making progress on filling those vacant positions. And I have a final interview next week with one other applicant. On March the 2nd, Officer Alga was a guest speaker at the criminal justice students at Virginia State University. On March the 11th, the training and recruitment teams had attended the career fair at Bright Point Community College. On March the 14th, they attended the Pivot event that was held at the Richmond Convention Center. And they also was at Chick-fil-A for the Touch a Truck community event and recruitment that was on this will be March the 21st. And on March the 28th, the team will be attending the job fair at Manassas Police Department. Our community policing awards have not changed. We're working on adding another community policing officer. That process has been closed, and we'll be in the process of hopefully adding 1 more community policing officer for award, and hopefully we'll get someone for Ward 7 soon. Community engagement activities. The Next Citizens Academy that has begun. It started last Thursday, and it's 8 weeks each Thursday night, beginning at 6 o'clock p.m., and to be held at the police department. The Tri-City Memorial Breakfast, still scheduled for May the 7th. We'll be at the Moose Lodge, beginning at 7 o'clock a.m. We discussed the SROs. They implemented that Heroes in Training that has started. That started on March the 2nd. And lastly, under community engagement, on March the 27th, staff will be attending the Career Day at Harry James. That's from 8:30 a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m. And then they will be at Carter G. Woodson from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m.
Excuse me. I just think there's a typo. The academy runs through April 7th, I believe. Right?
Yes, ma'am. That was a typo. It started March the 5th, but it's 8 weeks, so it will not end until that last week in April. Yes, ma'am. Each Thursday night, 6 o'clock, 8 weeks. West End Christian School Speed Study on Atlantic Street. This was conducted by the National Data and Surveying Services. It was conducted February the 10th, 11th, and 12th. The posted speed limit is 25 miles per hour. The times were from 7:25 a.m. to 8:15 a.m. in the afternoon, from 2:45 to 3:45 p.m. Total vehicle count. Those 3 days, total vehicle count was 1,800 vehicles. No violations occurred during the school hours, and 12 violations occurred during the non-school hours. If you flip, it breaks down each date. Example, I just used the February the 9th date, and if you look at the vehicle count, all of them same pattern. Vehicle count, all hours was 607 that day. Violations were 3. And you will see non-school hours of 607 vehicles, no violations during the school hours, and this same pattern is from the 9th, 10th, and the 11th. For the sake of time, I won't go over each day. And my last is the police earmark funding request. And as you already know that the funding was opened back up in April. With your approval, we will be applying again for the earmark. The funds will be awarded mid to late 2027. And this is through the United States House of Representatives, again, Jennifer McClellan and Senators Kane and Warner. Hopewell request is for enhancing the public safety technology. And this no match is rounded off to $1 million. And if you see what it would increase our Flock OS Elite package, our enhanced LPR upgrade, Flock 911, 2 Flock mobile security trailers, which is 3 cameras, Flock safety video integration, video integration gateway. There'll be 8 streams per box, which will be 15 boxes, and it will cover a total of 10 units covering 10 square miles. That is the earmark that we are requesting again. And also, as we have discussed this, we are still looking at the process. If this earmark is not granted, what do we do? And we're looking for funding. And we're talking to Flock, and I have an active contract, an active quote, and the actual, to even get this started is almost $300,000. $299,150. That's beginning adding the contract. Then after that 2 years, it'll be currently it'll be a $292,000 a year cost. So we're working with them to figure out if we can cut it. If we don't get this earmark, instead of trying to get 10 units, reduce it to 6, and look at other. They got a Safe City package, which is a 5 to 10 years contract, and we're looking at how we could save going that route, and we have another meeting with Flock representative to discuss that the latter part of this month. So it's still a work in progress and trying to get the funding through this earmark or other ways to try to get this funded. That concludes my report, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay. I don't see any lights, but thank you, Chief, for your great work, and always love seeing good stats showing that we're making great strides in reducing crime and keeping citizens safe.
I do have one comment.
Okay.
I have one comment, and it relates to the Neighborhood Watch, and it involves the fire department, but because the Neighborhood Watch meeting for Ward 1, we had someone from the fire, we had our fire marshal do a presentation about what his department is about to the Neighborhood Watch. It was very well received. He did a fantastic job, Ben Gomes, and I just wanted to, let the public know about this and encourage them to come to these Neighborhood Watch meetings, because I understand that he is going to be going to all of the various Neighborhood Watch ward meetings, and you can learn so much. And it's just a really great opportunity, and I wanted to give a shout out to the fire department for that participation. So thank you. Thanks.
I know we got the meeting coming up on March the 18th, so I'll send the invite to the chief and see if is fire marshal available to attend the March 18th Ward 1 meeting.
There you go. All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, one final thing.
Sure.
I think it's very appropriate to thank the citizens for supporting our outreach efforts for the city manager forum that we had last week, both in terms of submitting questions and in terms of attendance. We were all very pleased that people came out to meet the candidates and hear what they had to say. So thank you to the community.
Okay. All right, we're going to move along. We have no actions coming out of closed meeting. And so we will move into the prayer and pledge of allegiance. The prayer will be done by Pastor Hart, followed by the pledge by myself.
Gracious Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you, O God, for these, the city representatives and the citizens that come together to resolve issues and to improve the city. Lord, we ask that you will bless them, help them to make the right decisions in the name of Jesus. And we thank you for this opportunity right now. Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Do I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
So moved.
Okay. Motion's been made by Counselor Day and seconded by Counselor Wheat. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Counselor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Parton,
Yes.
Counselor Day,
Yes.
Counselor Wheat,
Yes.
Counselor Rapoli,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay. Moving on to communications from citizens. Madam Clerk, will you please read the statement?
A communication from citizens, period, limited to a total of 30 minutes, occurs at each regular council meeting. Persons addressing council approach the microphone, give their name, and if they reside in Hopewell, their ward number. Each comment is limited to 3 minutes. No person is permitted to speak on an item scheduled for public hearing. All remarks must be addressed to the council as a body. Any person who makes personal, impertinent, abusive, or slanderous statements or incites disorderly conduct in council chambers may be barred from future communications from citizens and removed.
Okay. First one I have signed up for tonight is Mark Burrows.
Mark Burrows, Ward 3. Good evening. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who coordinated and facilitated and participated in the town hall for city manager applicants. That being said, there's a couple of issues I had. First, I understand that at the last meeting, the city manager apologized for his quote-unquote dare comment. I don't accept his apology. Rather, I appreciate the honesty. It was a poor choice of words, but it accurately reflected how he felt in the moment. And that is the problem I have with a few of you on this council, within this city and within this state. You act as though we citizens and our concerns are a burden when we should be the priority. I honestly feel like you don't listen while we are speaking and expressing our concerns and issues, and I wish that you all would act as though our thoughts and concerns had value. You are all charged with taking care of this city, and you are arguably doing better than some of the previous leaders. But I hope that what we express will bear some weight in the future. Not everything is about a dollar. Sometimes it's about the people that represent the dollar. That being said, to the chief's point, I understand the flock cameras have done a lot of good in terms of criminal detection in some communities around the nation. Here lately, there's been a lot of cities and communities that have been kicking flock out of their city for one reason or another. I've been trying to look into it a little bit myself because I kind of assumed the program was coming to our area, but I've yet to find a reason why communities are kicking flock out of their community. So it might be something for y'all to look into before you invest into it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ed Hauser.
Ed Hauser, Ward 5. I was looking at the paving schedule y'all have coming up in Ward 5, and I'm kind of at a loss of why Richmond Street and South 20th have been overlooked in that neighborhood. That both of them streets are right in the middle of the neighborhood, being paved on both sides and top and bottom of it, but them two streets aren't being paved. And I can't understand why. Why would you skip two streets in an entire neighborhood? And both of them roads are in just as bad a shape as the rest of them. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I can easily answer that question. Reason why those are missed is just as much as Mr. Burroughs Street was missed over in Mansion Hills, and just as much as folks were missed over there in Appomattox Heights. These projects are being caught up because they were not executed timely when they should have been, and because of the cost of inflation, cuts were having to be made, but the city is looking at trying to rectify that through additional paving. All right. Moving on from communications from citizens, moving on to our regular business. R1, Ms. Smith.
Good evening, council. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. Tonight, we are bringing, HR and One Digital is bringing the health insurance renewal options for council's consideration. The rate increase is 15.7% this year, so we do have to look at some options, and Mary Jones will go over the details.
Well, good evening, Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, council members. So yes, as Yoska had mentioned, this year's renewal is calling for a 15.7% increase, which you can see is a total increase of just shy of $1 million. Of that, the city would be faced with a $800,000 increase, and the employees would be faced with almost $180,000. So we have come to the table with a recommendation to the council to review and make a determination on some changes to the benefits. With that, the Medicare, you can see, so we offer the Medicare supplements for the retirees. So you can see the premiums there will be changing as well as of July 1st. And just looking at the analysis of the renewal from our firm's perspective, unfortunately, it is a fair increase based off of what we're seeing in the marketplace and overall how the plans are running. The option for consideration is the next slide. And what we're recommending is we're recommending offering the three following plan options. So the Key Advantage 500, the Key Advantage 1000, and the high deductible health plan. With this adjustment in plan designs, so we'd be eliminating the 250 plan. You can see at the bottom the impact from a financial perspective. So the total increase in premiums would bring that to $357,000, of which the impact to the city would be about $293,000, and the impact to the employees would be just a little over $64,000. So this is the plan that we are bringing to the table for consideration. The next page, which page 4, I won't go in detail, but this basically just gives you a comparison of current versus recommended plan designs for the July 1st. And anything highlighted in yellow is where the plans would have some changes. The next slide just outlines some additional changes that will be coming to the plans as of July 1st, regardless of which plan selection you decide to move forward with. So first and foremost, there will be some changes to the prescription drug coverage. Currently, you have a 4-tier drug plan structure for your prescription drugs. So today you have Tier 1, 2, 3, and 4. Tier 1 is all your generics, so anybody taking a generic drug will not see any impact as of July 1st. However, the other tiers of 2, 3, and 4 will see an adjustment to what they're paying out of pocket for their medications. So tiers 2 and 3 will now have a $150 deductible that will need to be met before copays come into play. On Tier 4, there will be a $150 deductible for Tier 4 medications. Then it will go to a 20% coinsurance to a $200 script maximum. The last change to the medications or the drug list is the GLP-1 medications. So currently your plan allows coverage for GLP-1 drugs for folks who are taking them to lose weight. They do not have to have a diagnosis of another condition to get those medications. As of July 1st, that will change. So as of July 1st, someone can still get GLP-1 drugs. However, it has to be associated with a condition that is relevant to what those drugs are being administered for. So that will be a change for potentially for folks. Secondly, the high deductible plan, you'll see is the deductibles are changing on that plan. And this is an IRS regulation. So these will have to change in order to be compliant to offer a health savings account in addition to this plan. So you can see they're changing from $3,300 from an individual to $6,600. And they're going to be going to $3,400 for an individual to $6,800 for anybody who covers themselves or a dependent. The Employee Assistance Program, or the EAP, will now become available to every employee of the city. Currently, this program is only available to folks who enroll in the Local Choice Program. So this will be expanded to include all employees within the city. Just as a reminder, renewals are due to Local Choice by April 1st. Lastly, so the recommendation, again, is to consider the alternate plan design that we've presented, and then approve contributions. Any questions?
All right, seeing no lights. I know we're going to come back in 2 weeks and
Yep.
vote on this,
Yep.
but thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, moving on to R2. This is a big one.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. Tonight, you will be presented with the needs of several of our departments: public safety, public works, IT, city clerk, as well as parks and recreation. We would just ask if you would just listen to the presentations. We're still working through balancing the budget, as well as figuring out what the plan is going to be with the health insurance.
Thank you.
Good evening again, once again, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of City Council. I'm going to give you our budget for the Hopewell Police Department and just an overview of the police department. Quickly, this Hopewell Police Department is committed to the prevention of crime, protecting life and property, and the preservation of peace and public order. The department our organizational structure is in 3 operational divisions, which is the field services, administrative services, and support services. These 3 divisions report to the Deputy Chief of Police, the Deputy Chief of Police, and Professional Standards and Accreditation. Lieutenant report directly to the Chief of Police. The department has 68 sworn officers. Currently, there are 62 positions that are filled. The department has 23 authorized full-time civilian positions. 20 full-time civilian positions are filled. The department has 8 authorized part-time civilian positions, and 7 part-time positions are filled. Hopewell Police Department is devoted to the duty of keeping individuals, families, and the Hopewell community safe through innovative strategies, community collaboration, and exemplary law enforcement. I gave you the December the 31st crime report at my last meeting, so I'm going to skip that end of year report and move to the next slide. And the next slide, I presented the crime summary, so I'll skip that and go to the bottom where it talks about performance indicators. And at the bottom, you will see the fiscal year 2025-2026 as of February the 22nd, 2026. And then you'll see fiscal year 26 and 27, the projection numbers. If you look at for fiscal year 25-26, E911 calls answered was 10,105, and we're projecting that to increase to 16,000. Animal controls call answered in fiscal year 2025-2026 was 1,978, and we potentially increase to 3,000. Physical arrests was 402 in 2025-2026. We're projecting 700 physical arrests. Building checks, direct patrols was 47,103 in fiscal year 25-26, and is projected to increase to 52,000. And finally, accident reports for fiscal year 25-26 was 355, and we projecting an increase to 400.
Go ahead.
I've got a question about the 911 calls answered. Why that big jump? And I guess I want to make sure I'm looking at the right numbers. So you're projecting for 26-27 on the right, but the middle, what exactly is it? It says as of 2/22/26. What?
Those were the number of calls as of February the 22nd of this year.
So already you've had 10,000 calls?
In fiscal year 25-26. Yes, ma'am. It ended as of February the 22nd of 26. It was 10,105 calls.
Fiscal year meaning starting July 1st, 2025.
Yes, sir.
Why is there such a huge increase there? That's still, something
You
doesn't.
talking about the projection of 16,000?
Yeah.
Well, because you got to look at the police department not only answer 911 calls, we got fire as well in the sheriff's department, and you got fire, police, and your medical calls. The people that call 911 dealing with medical issues.
Right.
And also, we're building confidence in the police department. We want people to call and report emergency situations.
Sure, but those numbers don't jive to me. I mean, where are you going from 10 to 16?
Well, that's
it's
just a
okay.
projection.
It's okay. We can
It's
talk
just a
about it later.
projection.
Just okay. All right. Thanks.
Any other questions about the projection?
Does that jump in projected calls, does that have anything to do with ICE?
No, sir.
Yeah, I just talk about it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Moving forward, the police department's operator budget summary for fiscal year adopted budget was $14,262,95. Fiscal year, this is proposed budget, is $14,864,278. Requested increase is $602,183. And I just want to reiterate that $602,183 is including salaries and benefits. And our salaries and benefits takes a quite bite in our budget. The administrative service contracts currently was $82,696, and we requested $91,988, an increase of $9,292. And that contract increase is because of Cradle Criminal Justice Academy, our contract increase. That's where we go to get our training and education. Patrol, medical, and lab supplies currently was $3,500. We're requesting $4,500. That's just a $1,000 increase, and that's just the patrol K-9 vet care cost increases.
So just to help you save time, so just bottom line up front is you've got almost $158,000 increase in these requests.
Yes, sir.
And then the difference between this and the 602 is salaries.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
What we are requesting, our total operation expenses is $157,672.
Okay.
That's what our operational expenses would be, for the sake of time.
Right.
So once again, the fiscal year 2027 proposed budget amount, and like I said, includes salary increases.
Okay. I thought I'd just save you a little bit of
sir.
breath.
Thank you, sir. And at that point, that concludes my budget presentation.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of council, I appreciate the opportunity to present the fire department's budget tonight. As usually, I like to start off with a little example of the kind of work that we do. This example occurred just a few days ago on February 26th. We got a call to 100 Kipak Street, which is our high-rise here in the city, for a report of a structure fire. At the time, we only had one engine available. We had two. Engine 2 was on a EMS call. Medic 1 and 2 were out on calls, and Engine 3, which is typically our ladder, but currently because of our apparatus issues, it's just an engine. It was actually out of service because Medic 3, which we cross staff, was on a call, and so they were on their way. Actually, they were on their way back from a call when this call occurred. You can go to the next slide. So what that meant is that we essentially had 3 people on Engine 1. We had a battalion chief. We had 2 of our administrative folks that showed up to that call. Just to give you a little bit of perspective, the national standard for a call like that should be about 42 people. We went. It went very well because we roll the dice a lot with the number of people that we have to run calls. And in this case, it was a family that was in the house. There was a fire. There was a cooking fire. The man of the house sent the wife and child outside while he attempted to put the fire out. Luckily, he was successful in putting the fire out. And so it didn't turn into anything more than just that. And we went in and evacuated smoke and mopped up and made sure everything was safe. I put up this graph here to kind of give you an idea of what we're up against when it comes to fires in today's world. We have a lot more polycarbons and things that are made of oil, and so the products of combustion grow very rapidly. And you can see there, I've circled the 8 at the bottom. 8 minutes is the average time that we go from the incipient of the fire and somebody calling 911 or whatever the case is, to the point, as you can see at the top, of flashover. And flashover is the point in a room where no one survives. Even a firefighter in turnout gear, if he's inside of that room at the point of flashover, will most likely perish. Our gear will not protect us at that point. Our gear will spontaneously combust along with everything else in the room all at the same time. So we have about 8 minutes is the average time that we have to get to that call, and to especially if we have somebody that's injured or needs rescue, and to get in and make a rescue and to get this fire under control. So as you can see, on a regular day, the numbers that you saw there for that call are not unusual. It's very usual for us to have 2 ambulances out on a call. It's very usual for us to have an engine out on a call. It's very usual for us to have our cross-staffed engine and on our ambulance out of service, because that ambulance is out on a call as well, because we get a lot of EMS calls. And so I just want to share that with you at the beginning, just as a reminder to the challenges that we face on a daily basis when it comes to our call volume. Next slide. So from our operational budget, we were asked going in by the city manager and staff to give a 5% and a 10% cut to our budget based on the challenges we were facing in the budget. And so a couple numbers there that I want to share with you is that about 8.5% or about 9% of our budget is what some people might consider to be discretionary, which really it's not. It includes all of our software programs that we pay for reporting. It includes turnout gear. It includes a lot of important things. But the rest of that budget is all, our salaries and things that we really can't control. So if we were to do a true 5 or 10% cut, there'd be no way for us to do that other than cutting positions. What I did provide back, however, was a 5 and 10% cut of that 8.8%. I don't recommend that, and that's because, truthfully, if we stay at an even budget, essentially that's a budget cut, because just like everybody else in here, everybody knows the cost of everything is going up. It's the same for the fire department as well. The cost of our software goes up every single year. The cost of our turnout gear goes up. The cost of our hose, the cost of everything that we have goes up, just like everybody's household things have been going up. And so even a even budget means a budget cut, essentially. But that's what I have proposed based on the other requests that I have, is that we maintain the level budget that we currently have. And then I also provided the administration with some cuts, if necessary, where that would impact us the least. Go to the next slide. On the capital side is where our biggest needs are. So Station 2 currently has a deteriorating sewer line. It is kind of a time bomb waiting to go off. We have folks out there constantly having to clean the line out. It's got a number of different issues. There's whole sections of it that have just deteriorated. This cost is about $50,000. We are going to attempt to get this fixed as soon as possible. We're going to try to look at savings from this current year and how we can save to try to get that done as soon as possible. But if we're unable to do that, because we have a lot of things that we're trying to get accomplished here at the end of the year, then fiscal year, I should say, then that is one of the requests that I've submitted. The other one is that we still have leak issues at Station 1, water leak issues. That station next year will be 100 years old, as you know, and so it continues to have a leaky roof, which we want to replace, as well as leaking through the walls themselves. And so there's a lot of patching and repairing that we would like to do, and that cost is estimated to be about $100,000. The last request is our burn building. I've come and talked to you about this on a number of occasions. We got a grant for to replace it. However, there was a matching portion which we accounted for. However, when we just put this out to bid, the prices came back extremely high and showed us a $590,000 deficit on this project. We have looked at that. We don't think that those costs are truly reflective of what it should cost to do this project, so we're going to cancel. We've canceled that bid. We're going to now separate the project out between the site work and then the building itself, and we're going to put it back out. We hope that we can get that deficit down to about $262,000, which is the revised request that I'm looking at for this capital project.
When should you get those results back?
We haven't put it out yet, so after working with procurement, it'll probably be another month before we see what those numbers are.
Bid period. Okay.
Next one. So the big request this year is personnel. What I'm asking for, the number this year is relatively small. It's $59,064. And what this represents is 6 firefighter positions. What this is a twofold thing that this is going to do for us. Number one, it's going to allow us, as you know, we have a new ladder truck coming to us in May. The issue that I described earlier, where that ladder truck goes down every time Medic 3 has to mark up to answer a call, would be alleviated. So we'd be able to keep that truck in service with minimal personnel all the time. So we wouldn't have that problem of it going out of service when we get our 30 MS call, which happens frequently. The other thing that this will do is allow us to change our shift schedule. And I know this is a very long conversation that I'll probably need to have with all of you at a different time, but I just kind of want to hit the highlights of that. This would be changing our shift schedule from a 24/48, which is the schedule the fire department has done for many, many years, to a 24/72, which is the current schedule that our EMS providers are on. Now, this request, this $59,000, is contingent on a couple things. One is that we receive a SAFER grant. So we'll be applying for a SAFER grant. That SAFER grant through FEMA would allow us to have 75% of the funding for the positions for the first 2 years, and then 25% of the funding for those positions on year 3. So even though the first year, and that's actually half a year's funding, because we won't find out about whether we get that grant until September, and then it'll take us a few months to actually recruit and hire for those positions. We're gonna be working on that ahead of time so that we would have a list, but it still takes a couple months to process those folks. So that the very earliest we could maybe see those people in a seat would be January, and so that $59,000 is a half a year request. If you go to the next slide. Just to give you a little bit of evolution of fire department schedule evolution. Really pre-1900, the fire department was a lot of very young guys that lived in the station. They got paid very little because they got to live in the station, and they had to stay there all the time, and they didn't get a lot of time off. Well, as fire departments became more important and people realized the benefit, they also realized that they couldn't rely on just that group of folks, and so they started recruiting people that had families, and they realized those people needed to have time off, and so they started changing to 24-hour shifts. The next big change was in 1974 when FLSA was amended by Congress that addressed fire department schedules specifically, and the 24/48 schedule met all those requirements, allowing 24/7, 365 over a long period of time, for the entire year at a reduced cost, and so that was adopted very widely across the country. Since then, not a lot has changed. And you can go to the next slide. Not a lot has really changed when it comes to shift scheduling. At the same time, even though nothing has changed from the schedule perspective, a lot of things have changed as far as what we do as a fire department. So even in the city of Hopewell, many, many years ago, our call volume was 570 calls in a year. And so a 24-48 schedule was perfectly fine when you're talking about maybe 1 or maybe 2 calls a day. Today, this year, we almost ran 6,000. So you can see the difference in call volume. In addition to that, the amount of training that we're required to do, the fact that we also cross-train in EMS, there's a lot of additional training requirements, and there's just a lot more that we have to do as a fire department. This shift change is picking up steam across the country. There's a number of jurisdictions across the country that have begun to change that based on a lot of research. Florida passed a bill encouraging local governments to change that. Virginia has a similar bill that's expected to pass this year. Again, that's just an encouragement for the change. But I can also tell you that there's already 4 localities in Virginia that have made or are making the change, and then there's another half dozen or so that are in the process of making that change over a phased approach or planning to make that change. And so really what we're looking at is the impact that this schedule has on firefighters. So if you go to the next slide, you can see there's just a quick slide of our call volume going back to the late 90s until today. You can see what how that has greatly increased over time. And so back when that 24-48 schedule was implemented, it worked fine. Today, not so much. You can go on to the next slide. This is a quick comparison to the number of hours that firefighters work compared to a regular city employee, and then also the police department, which also is a FLSA-covered position. They work 42 hours a week. So you can see over the course of a year, if you compare that, we work 60 additional 12-hour. If you break it down into 12-hour shifts, we work 60 additional 12-hour shifts over our brothers in PD. 91 additional 8-hour shifts if you look at it on an 8-hour period, and essentially 20 more 40-hour weeks if you look at it from a normal work week is what firefighters put in. You go to the next slide. Of course, the big argument about that is that they get to sleep at night. Well, not so much. You can see the numbers here. 37% of our call volume happens after 7 p.m. 49% of our call volume happens after 5 p.m. And so a lot of our calls are taking place in the night hours. These guys are getting woken up constantly. And even if they're not the one necessarily having to go out the door, they're being awakened by the others that are having to go out the door. And, of course, all the supervision, having to keep track of who's out there, are constantly being awake and trying to monitor what's going on. You can go to the next slide. The big story, honestly, here is health and safety. You can see some of these numbers here. Average life expectancy of a regular American is 79. A lot of new studies are showing for firefighters it's about 57. Suicide rates among firefighters are 76% higher than the general population, and 50% of firefighters are developing heart conditions mid-career. Also, the World Health Organization has recognized the lack of sleep as a probable carcinogen, and of course, cancer rates in firefighters are higher as well. All of these things are contributed to the fact that firefighters aren't getting sleep at night. Gone are the days when they slept through the night. Most nights, these men and women are up running calls, and they're not getting that sleep that they need to recover. So what I'm proposing is a 4-year phased approach to this. This year, I'm asking for those 6 firefighters, which will allow these folks to work 8 less shifts a year. And then next year, I would ask for additional 4 positions, which would allow them to work 16 less shifts a year. And then it just continues to phase in over the 4 years. You can go to the next slide. Finally, is the question you're probably all looking for is, what is this going to cost? And so this year, as I said, we're asking for $59,000. That's, again, contingent upon that grant that we receive. Should we receive the grant, we could get those 6 firefighters and get them started at 59. Next year, if we were to keep those 6 as well as hire 4 more, it would cost the city $433. In 2029, if we added another additional 4, it would be $842. And then finally, the last year, when it would be completely, we'd have that whole additional shift, hired, it would be $1.256 million. It would be the cost to the city for this entire transition. One thing I did want to highlight is the fact that if you were to fund these 6 positions this year, and if any of those following steps, the city gets to a place where we were unable to go to that next step, the progress that we had made would be a huge improvement to our firefighters. So even if we only get the 6 positions this year and next year, if we aren't able to continue with the plan, we would still be able to see a significant increase or decrease rather in the work hours that our firefighters would be asked to work. But it would also give us that ladder truck in service all the time. So there's two things really that we're talking about with this request. I know it's a big ask, but I think that to start with, it kind of lets us start off small and then build from that. Any questions on our requests?
Vice Mayor Joyner?
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. It has to do with our old station. And I'm just wondering, I do not know if they're out there, but if DHR, because of the age of that building, it's very unique, there may be some grant opportunities out there. I know they do sacred structure improvements and that sort of thing, but it might be something to look at, either going through the National Trust or through Virginia's DHR and seeing if there are any grant opportunities to address the roof issues. Just a thought.
Okay.
Just,
Thank you.
yeah.
I'll definitely take that into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
All right, seeing no other lights, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Public Works is next.
Good evening. I'm Monique Robertson, Interim Director of Public Works. Good evening, Mayor, excuse me, Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, and all council. Tonight, we're going to present the Public Works Department budget. It'll be done in 2 phases. I would do the operations budget for all of our operational funds, and the interim deputy director of engineering and stormwater will do the engineering and stormwater capital projects. As you know, as I stated, our Public Works is in 2 divisions. It has the operations division as well as the engineering and stormwater. Our Public Works departments have 4 different funds. We have the solid waste fund, which is the refuse fund, the perpetual care fund. We have operations funds, which is our public works operations out of general fund. And then we have federal funds that we receive in state funding. I won't read everything, however, we do provide multiple services throughout the city. Some of those services that are provided will be the Citizens Convenience Center, the event traffic controls, the free march at the Convenience Center, refuse collection services, citywide cleanups, leaf collection services, snow and debris removal. For the Public Works operating budget, there's only an increase for utilities is all that we're asking for. The utility increase is $48,800. There was a higher increase, of course, but we reduced some of the other lines to accommodate some of that increase. So the bottom line increase for the Public Works operating budget is $48,800. The second fund that Public Works oversees is the refuse fund. The increase for this budget fund is $432,466. The increase for that is both in service contracts and it's the consumer price index, which each year the contracts go up no more than 3%. So that's that increase. And then we have a new billing contractor, Manole, and the increase for the cost for that has increased to $155,000. The second service contract is for the convenience center that has increased, and that is still the CPI increase, and that's based on the tipping and hauling that's done at the convenience center. That fluctuates depending on how much usage and tonnage is actually used at the convenience center. that number varies, although it's budgeted, it could be a little lower or higher. The next fund that Public Works has is the cemetery budget fund. That's a perpetual care fund. We're not asking for any increase in that at all. It's currently $65,000. We're still remaining keeping that at $65,000. Stormwater, the stormwater fund budget, within its budget, funds have been allocated and moved around. There is no additional increase requested. So the numbers that you see is just so that you won't have to do a transfer throughout the year. We did have one increase in the rent for the building that they currently occupy, went up $913. But nothing, the bottom line budget is still the same, still zero, just move the funds around within its budget. So on the operations side for the capital improvements, we are only asking for $183,000 total. The one piece of equipment that we're asking for this year is for a 7-year lease for the leaf vacuum truck. The leaf vacuum truck is approximately 27 years old. It's exceeded its useful life. The useful life is 7 to 10 years. So we're 3 to 4 years, 3 to 4 times that useful life. This last season, one repair to that truck was $16,000, just to get it keep the operation for that lease season. The other items that you see listed there, we are deferring to next year. So for this year, we're only asking for the first year of the 7-year lease on that. The infrastructure improvement, which is still part of that 183. The street light improvement budget, we're asking for a request of $20,000. That is the lights that's downtown, the blue pole lights that are not, they're contracted lights that are not part of a regular Virginia Power Pole lights. And for a request that may come in for putting in a new light that meets the requirements. Then we have the ADA master plan, $50,000. That's a continuation thing, whereas every year we ask for funding for the ADA master plan to make sure that we have something on board looking into that. And last but not least is the HVAC upgrade for social services. They have 3 units above on their rooftop that still have not been upgraded. It's a total of 10. 7 have been done, 3 is still remaining. That's causing humidity issues within social services. So that's an additional $50,000. So that is all the increase that we're asking for the operations side of Public Works budget. If you don't have any questions, I will now have Mr. Josh Simontelli, who is our interim Deputy Director of Engineering and Stormwater, and he will give you the presentation on the CIP projects.
Thank you, Monique.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Thank you, Monique. I'm the Interim Deputy Director for Public Works, Engineering, and Stormwater. I'm here to present our CIP, proposed CIP for FY27. So currently our Public Works and Engineering Stormwater staff, we consist of an A11, we have a plan review staff, we have a 3-man maintenance crew, and we have an inspection and GIS information systems aspect to our program. I oversee all of those positions as well as just maintaining our CIP. So these are all of our projects that we are currently working through with VDOT and otherwise. As you can see, for FY27, we are really just asking for a rollover. We are not asking for any additional funds. Except for our pavement preservation plan at the very bottom, as well as a proposed project that is a Cattail Creek drainage crossing that is being partially subsidized by a VDEM grant, and we will proceed forward contingent on funding. Next. This is just a project status. Honestly, the slides that follow this are really just an individualized version of this table, so I'll just do each slide. So this is our Route 156 intersection improvement. It actually coincides with the following slide as well. It's the same project, just 2 different UPCs. Currently, this is currently in PE phase, and it's set to begin a utility survey in the spring and summer of this year. The local share as part of this project is a combined $60,100 dollars. It is a pedestrian improvement, so signalized crosswalks, etc.
I'm confused.
Yes.
You said our share is what? Tell me again.
Yeah, so it is Engineering 001 and 002. They are the same project, just 2 different UPCs or project codes. The local share for the first one is $35,500.
Right.
And the second local share is $25,100.
Okay. Sorry.
So this is our next one, another pedestrian improvement project on South Mesa Drive. I have actually been working on this for quite a bit. We are scheduled to go out for advertisement in April, and hopefully we can proceed into construction later this year. Next is our Route 10 shared use path project. It is set to proceed to right-of-way this December, and it will be in construction in 2028. We have a local share match of $521,000 remaining on the project. Next is our Courthouse Road pedestrian improvement project. This runs from Ashland Street all the way down to Arlington Road. Currently, we are concluding right-of-way phase in April of this year, and hopefully we will be at construction this fall with a local share of $600,000. Next is also another lumped-in project for the next 2 slides. It's Route 10 paving. It is going to be set at the intersection of Hummel Ross Road and Route 10. This is a 100% subsidized project from the State of Good Repair Fund. So we will just need to front the money, but it will all be set for reimbursement. So this is our stormwater project. This is for Hanks Pond. This is actually a project that's been designed and I believe it's been requested for funding for quite a bit. We're working out some kinks in the PE phase, but contingent on funding again, we are pretty much ready to go for construction. Our Heretic Avenue project, this is being funded by the GO bond that we've recently received. Currently, we're in the process of securing easements and other right-of-way as part of this project, and hopefully we can be set for construction this summer. Yes.
Question, and this might be more for Stacy.
Mm-hmm.
I know we utilized the general obligation bond for this.
Yes.
But we got confirmation, to my understanding, from Jennifer McClellan's office or Congresswoman McClellan's office that we're going to get some earmark funding for it. So that's going to free up.
How much?
I think so. It'd be an additional $1 million towards capital. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Fantastic. Great news.
So that is our Heretic project.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this the one impacting? There's something you're doing something that's impacting Cedar Level. Is this the one?
This is not on Cedar. Well, it's adjacent to Cedar Level.
Okay. Is it impacting? With those? Do you know which one I'm talking near Farmingdale townhouses? Is this the one?
Yes, it is by Farmingdale townhouses.
This is the one.
That is the one. By
Okay.
Yes.
I need to. Okay. So talk to me about this one, Nils. Okay.
You want additional details regarding this
Yeah.
project?
I guess my question is, aren't there some easements that are?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk to me about the easements and that kind of thing? Because I
Yeah.
think there are some issues with regarding. There's some questions. Let's just say that.
Yeah. And I've been working on this for quite a bit for the past few weeks.
Yeah. I know
So essentially, I'll give you the scope of the project. The
Yeah.
scope is we have a deteriorated corrugated metal pipe. It's been deteriorated. It's called mini sinkholes on all the properties throughout that.
Okay.
So we do not have any easements that are currently set in place, and so we need easements in order to work on other people's properties. So it's going to include a sanitary easement because there's utility relocation involved with that. It's going to rely on a drainage easement for the new stormwater. There's going to be a bunch of utility relocations,
Yeah.
but it's really just a drainage easement and a sanitary easement.
Okay. Okay. All right. That kind of tells me. This is good to know. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Yeah,
And when this project starts, please try to organize a nice groundbreaking ceremony for this, because this project has been, sitting on the books for a long time.
Okay.
And Stephen Edwards, did a great job, really, helping bring this thing up to fruition. And I want to make sure that we also invite the Congresswoman for helping us with this, because this is huge, especially for this neighborhood. And I can still remember seeing the picture of the little kid playing in a 3-foot deep sinkhole, hide and seek, and that was enough to finally expedite and move this project up.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that the property owners are getting sufficient
Right.
notice.
Yes, ma'am.
of
We've
this.
actually sent out. This morning, I was out there dropping off forms for easements and other impacts that will be done to their property. We're working with Timmons Group to secure those easements.
Yeah.
I've had multiple meetings with Farmingdale Townhomes
Okay,
manager,
okay,
so we are
okay.
certainly in correspondence
Terrific. That's
with all
all. Thank
impacted
you so much.
properties.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you.
In our pavement preservation plan, this will be updated as our condition assessment with Timmons Group completes, which will be done in the upcoming weeks. So I believe we have a presentation set for those findings in the first week of April. And that will tell us how we're going to proceed forward with our pavement preservation.
So now, question with the pavement preservation.
Yeah.
So I know we've set aside money in the general obligation bonds for it, and you've shown here previously in your packet that there's rollover funds. Are those are we talking about those being separate items, or is it? Okay, so it's $1 million. So the general obligation bond money is going to be in addition to what we're rolling over.
Yes.
Okay, so we're looking at, if I remember, it was like $2.8 million in paving.
Majority of the projects that Josh pointed out previously have already been allocated within the budget, and there are PDOT projects that have been in the works for some.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Stan.
I just want to make sure that the citizens, realize this monumental step that has been taken, that, we can officially say that we are on the 15-year paving program.
It's desperately needed.
Yeah.
And then this is our Cattail Creek Drainage Improvement Project. So this is really a project that has been kicked down the road ever since I've been here. It is a VDIM project that's granted at a 75-25 split. So the local match on that would be $150,000 relative. Upon that, we can move forward with the design of that project.
So you need engineering money for that. Am I understanding that correctly?
Correct.
Okay.
That's it. I'm welcome to take any questions if you have any.
And so the Cattail Creek that you just talked about, is that the last of all the Cattail Creeks? I know Austin Anderson had it broken down, I think, into like 4 different phases or 4 different projects. This would be the last one.
I can look into that.
Okay.
I don't want to speak with definitiveness, but
Okay.
I know there have been other Cattail Creek projects.
Yeah.
This is the only one on my radar currently.
Okay.
So I can get back to you on that, though.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. This
All
is
right.
big.
Thank you.
This is Sherrod Diggs, who's the Deputy Director of IT.
This is the man of the hour. He asked yesterday that this is his first presentation to council, and he said, "Go easy on him."
Spill the beans, Mr. Mayor.
That's right, that's right.
I can probably almost guarantee you will not have questions from this untech savvy city councilor.
We'll see. Well, I'm presenting the budget of the fiscal year for the IT department. I'm not going to read this entire page, but pretty much the IT department's mission is to support every other department that's in the city. So we support the police department, fire department, the police department, the fire department, and the public works department, and the other departments across the city. This year we are not working on any large projects, but we do see an increase of an average of 4.58% across different service contracts and other vendors that we work with. Our largest increase will be with the Office 365, which will have a yearly cost of around $120,000. The Tyler Technologies cost increase, because we're moving over to the cloud, is seeing an increase of $82,000 a year. And for our duo multi-factor vendor, we have to fulfill a state requirement, and we're doing this for our police department. So essentially, when they have to log into our VPN clients, they have to use a multi-factor authentication in order to log into our network, essentially. And my presentation is short and sweet. That's cool.
No questions?
No questions.
No questions.
No questions. All right.
See, you sweating for nothing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Guy that can do extreme sports gets a little nervous in front of a podium. All right, looks like next is city clerk. Okay. I know you had last minute, had to come here, so I was going to let you slide if you needed to.
No, it's fine. I'm ready. So the total fiscal year 26 approved budget was $193,035.80. The fiscal year 27 requested budget is just a $2,000 difference of $195,035.80. And that is an overall increase because we are now doing advertisement for economic and development. And that is the only thing that has changed.
Okay.
Thank you.
So now this is pretty much a savings on the EDA's part. Am I understanding that correctly, Mr. Rogers?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Good.
All right. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. I will be running out our budget presentations for the night. And just like Rashad, I'm going to make it short and sweet. You have our intro in regards to our department, but I'd just like to highlight that we have 6 divisions within our operations. We're going to start with capital one-time requests. We are asking for a new ADA bus. This was a previous year request as well. We provided last year with a leasing option as well as outright purchase. We have 2 vehicles right now. They're both from 2004 and 2005, both having exceeded 131 plus mileage. One is going to be decommissioned probably in the next month because it has not been operational and we cannot fix it. The second one has always been in the shop, so we are constantly putting that in there so it's an increase in cost as far as the maintenance goes. The reason why this request is so important is that we provide transportation for over 50 trips throughout the fiscal year. And so that includes anything from respite, picking up our senior participants, bringing them to the community center, providing them with that social interaction, as well as tours and trips with those same seniors or different seniors. So our seniors are very active and they love to go places. And unfortunately, the current bus that we have, we just don't feel comfortable taking it outside of the 20-mile radius. So we are very limited as to where we can take them to. And trust me when I say that they will come and ask you if we can go to Mechanicsville, Midlothian. They want to go outside the city. And so in order for us to do that, we would like to request this one-time capital. Moving forward, our capital projects include some of the ones that you are familiar with, which is a Mathis Field improvements. Thank you so much for approving the congressional earmark request that we're going to go after for fiscal year 27, which will hopefully cover a lot of these improvements for Mathis Park as we move towards that sports tourism that I know the city needs and wants. Park pavilion renovations. This is to help us redo all of our roofing, especially at Crystal Lake and Atwater Park. Those are our most rented pavilions, and so we want to make sure that we are ahead of the game and not fixing things at the last minute. We would like to also do resurfacing of courts and playing surfaces. This includes City Point Playground, as well as inputting a little, best way to describe this is almost like a bike tour for our little ones, so that it's like a bike, so that teaches them how to maneuver in the streets in a safe and enclosed area in one of our parks. We have parking lot improvements. We have to do parking lot improvements at Hopewell Community Center, as well as Atwater Soccer Complex, and the Mathis one is already included in the Mathis project. We do have some improvements that we would like to do to our shop. We are currently sharing the shop with Public Works. Our little section does not have proper AC except for in a small room that is considered the office space. And this is where our team eats lunch and so forth. So unfortunately, during the summer months, they have to keep the bay doors open. It's not really sanitary for them. And so we just want to have some funding to kind of put off an enclosed area so that it can have a true break room in that facility. So the Recreation and Parks Department conducted a thorough internal review of our fiscal year 27 requests. We identified opportunities to reallocate existing funding so that we would not come to you with new costs. And so through this audit, we are redirecting some funding for several part-time positions, including our part-time lifeguards, and repurposing a position number 234 to become an aquatics program senior specialist. We have our beautiful activity guide, which is located in the back. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to review that, but with our new aquatics program manager, she has added additional 5 pages of straight programming for the aquatics division. And so she is only one person, and so we want to give her help because we are offering these classes and people are signing up, and so the demand is there. And so we just want to make sure that we offer that opportunity to our residents, but also not burning out an amazing staff person that we brought on board. The next one up is our recreation assistant positions, as well as a part-time center supervisor. These positions will be reallocated into a park maintenance senior specialist, specifically looking for a horticulturalist. And the reason why that request is happening is because over the past inception of our department, we've had the same personnel in our parks division, but we've gotten the Crystal Lake development, Atwater Soccer Complex, the Riverwalk, so we've had the same staff maintaining all this, but adding additional stuff on top of them. So bringing the horticulturists on not only helps us make sure that we maintain the beautification of the parks with seasonal landscaping and so forth, but it also helps add to another team member to the team to help divvy up some of that work. So our total cost for those full-time positions is $126,780, with the internal reallocation identified as $37,549. So the department request would be $89,230.80. You'll see our revenues. We are about a little less than 4%. Currently for this fiscal year that we plan on ending out, we do anticipate shooting for 7% of revenue next year. My goal is actually 10, but I want to make sure I can provide that. So I'm shooting for 10, but I'm hopefully landing at 7. So that would bring in an increased revenue of $88,242, which would essentially almost offset the request that we're asking for.
Okay, that's good. That's outstanding.
and I'm available for any questions that you may have.
Are there any questions? Seeing no lights. Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
That's the last one for the night. All right, we're going to move into our public hearing. Mr. Ward.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Tonight we have a conditional use permit request relates to 332B Maryland Avenue, also identified as parcel 0240335. This is public hearing and first reading. The applicant is Ashley Turner. The owner of this property is Mr. Robert Dursky, and this property is located in Ward 2, Zone B3. The request is to operate an auto repair shop at this location. You may remember last year when council amended the ordinance to require the CUP for this type of use. Map here on the left is general location of the property, and on the right, close-up version. So this is right here at Washington Circle, and I've got a line drawn across the roof of the building where the A side used to be the sub hut. It's restaurant space. B side is the portion of the building that is related to this application tonight. So again, with an auto-related use, if you remember back to when the CUP requirement was added, there are some particular impacts associated with that use, potentially at least. Parking issues, outside storage or display of product, noise pollution, air pollution. We've got some potentially hazardous liquids and chemicals, so concerns with waste disposal, safety risks, aesthetic concerns, and lastly, a potential increased risk of theft and vandalism because you've got vehicles there at the property. The applicant's position is basically that local mechanics support local economy. Active businesses stabilize property values. The shop provides an essential neighborhood amenity. And the applicant has committed to operating a clean, safe, and environmentally sensitive business. In addition, you may notice on this picture that there's really very little off-street parking associated with this property. The applicant has secured parking through a shared parking agreement that's directly across the street from this property. And that would be the orange colored square on this map is where this leased parking is going to be associated with the business. There has been an auto shop operating at this location previously, but unfortunately that operator did not keep a valid business license for it was more than 2 years. Thereby, this applicant is being forced to adhere to the CUP process, and it would not have been grandfathered in. As I mentioned, the applicant has secured off-street parking, and there's also an accessory building here on site that does allow for indoor storage of any materials, equipment, product, that sort of thing. So for all of those reasons, staff does recommend approval of this application with the following conditions. That the exterior of the property is to be kept clean at all times, no outside storage of materials, parts, or equipment, no outdoor display of items for sale. This off-street parking location must have a valid shared parking agreement in place at all times. All auto repair work must be indoors. Any inoperable and abandoned vehicles must be removed from the site or stored indoors after 30 days, and that all local, state, and federal laws regulations must be followed. We did receive one public comment. It was in opposition to this request. I'm available for any questions if you have any. Ms. Turner is here also this evening. Did you want to get up and speak? She did want to say a few words, and then we're both available for questions if you have.
Good evening, City Council, and the members. I'm here today to respectfully request approval for a business license to operate a mechanic shop in the city. Our goal is to provide honest, reliable, and affordable automotive repair services to the residents of this community. We are committed to operating a clean, professional, and well-maintained shop that follows all city ordinance, safety regulations, and environmental guidelines. This business will not only help meet the growing needs for local vehicle repair shops, but it will also contribute positively to the community by creating jobs and supporting the local economy. We take pride in being responsible business owners and neighbors, and we look forward to serving the community while maintaining a respectful and positive presence in the area. We respectfully ask you for your approval so we can move forward with building a business that benefits both the city and its residents.
Thank you. Okay. Are there any questions? All right. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and we'll open up the public hearing. I have one person signed up for tonight, and that's Mark Burrows. I believe he has left. Go ahead and close the public hearing. And at this time,
I'd like to make a
go ahead.
motion.
Yep.
Yeah, public hearing's closed. I'd like
Yep.
to make a motion that we approve the CUP request from Ashley Turner to operate an auto repair business on parcel number 024-0335, also identified as 32B Maryland Avenue, with the conditions noted under the staff recommendations.
Second.
All right. Motion's been made by Vice Mayor Joyner and seconded by Councilor Harris. Seeing no lights for discussion, roll call, please.
Councilor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Parton,
Yes.
Councilor Day,
Yes.
Councilor Wheat,
Yes.
Councilor Rapoli,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right. And last but certainly not least, his encore performance.
So I have today a request for a waiver of a development of a road. According to section 33-8 of our Streets and Sidewalks Code, it allows for City Council to grant an exemption of the development of an unopened street so long as the parcel rests on a corner lot and it is a side street. If you scroll down, Sade, the parcel in question is on the very last page. That is just a letter from Mr. Taylor for his case. But here is the parcel. We've spoken with city staff, we've spoken with our on-call engineering firm, and we see no reason why this exemption can't be granted. So our recommendation is for to grant the exemption for the development of the road.
Okay. Are there any questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to grant the waiver request as presented tonight?
So moved.
Second that.
Motion's been made by Councilor Wheat and seconded by Vice Mayor Joyner. Is there any discussion? Seeing no lights, roll call, please.
Councilor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Parton,
Yes.
Councilor Day,
Yes.
Councilor Wheat,
Yes.
Councilor Rapoli,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you, sir.